So it was in early 1989 that the executive council of the mission that we were with made the decision to move the headquarters for the mission away outside the United States and to locate overseas and pursue a course that um, the perception was that would make it more of an international mission. So Connie and I were prayed about it, and we volunteered to leave California and to go, and that would be our first assignment within this mission to go to wherever they were going to go. And then the decision was made on London, and that's when we really signed up. And so Connie and I, I think it was in the late spring of 1989, made a trip to London, flew from Los Angeles to London, a preliminary kind of investigation trip to see where we might want to live and base our search of the facilities that will be used by the mission as the international headquarters, and hopefully also to get a British sending base started, find someone in Great Britain to lead that and make that step forward, as well as establishing the international headquarters. So we flew, and as we were taking off, it was a rainstorm, and as we were taking off out of LAX, we were still on our ascent, but that kind of an angle really, and all of a sudden it just turned like that, and it was noticeable, and you go, what was that about? No word, and no one said anything. So we got there and found a place to stay, and we were walking one day toward an American school that we had heard about, an American Community School in Cobham, Esher, and we were had taken a tube there or whatever, and we got in. We were walking down the sidewalk, heading to a meeting that we had arranged, an appointment, to see what the possibilities might be, even though financially it was way, way, way over our head. I'll talk later about how the Lord answered that. But we kind of goes, Jim, look at that. And there was in the board they put out, with the headline. And the headline was uh, British Airways near miss in Los Angeles, and it gave the flight number and the date. And Connie said, Jim, we were on that. That was our plane. So we bought the paper, and they told the story in there how that there was a in the rainstorm there was a nearby airport. It was in Long Beach that certain planes couldn't land there, and so they had to divert them to other places. And one of those, that they came up to LAX, and so there was a plane shouldn't have been there that was coming in to LAX, and our plane taking off from LAX, and the was not noticed by the person sitting at the desk and looking, but a supervisor happened to be walking by, and he saw that, and he told him to get that plane going to London and get it out of the way. I mean, tell it to make a turn, and it did, and it diverted what would have been a collision a few hundred feet up in the air over Los Angeles. We had no idea, like I said, until Connie saw this billboard with the news on that, and we're so thankful to the Lord. I mean, it was a near miss and could have been disastrous for us and a few hundred other people as well. So thankful to the Lord, and that kind of gave us a prompt that, hey, maybe we really are supposed to be doing this. So we got there and to the school. Let me talk about that now, I think. And we did a tour of the school. And at that time, I think they were in the Guinness World Book of Records as the most expensive school, American school outside the United States to attend. And well, that was a bit over our head. So we toured the campus, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of felt good. But it's like, oh, if only. And she said, okay, well, would you like to see our financial advisor? I said, sure. So we got in there, and it was a young woman who turns out to be a young Christian woman, and we were talking to her, and she showed us the sheet, what the cost was. Oh wow! I said, well, no way. It was like $10,000 each, and that kind of thing. And We said, well, okay, we're not sure. We have to, consider this. We're just not sure we can afford that. She said, well, and she knew why we were there. We told her we're coming to work with a mission, and she said, well, there are scholarships that are offered. I said, really? She said, yes, there are scholarships that are offered, and I said, well, what percentage? She said, well, I can't tell you that, but I can tell you there's a couple here, family here, similar circumstance than your own, and I happen to know that they applied for a 60% discount and they received it. I said, oh. And she said, this family wrote a letter requesting it, and it was granted. So I suggested, so you can do that. Oh, okay. So we did. It was accepted. So now we're paying 40% for each of our two older daughters to attend here. And so we went ahead and we applied, made the application and all that, and girls were accepted. And I talked to her. I said, look, we don't really have the money. I'm going to making a trip back to the States, and I'm going to be speaking in some churches. Can I pay you when I get that money? She said, well, how would you pay us? I said, well, what do you think? I guess I'll exchange the money. She said, well, we need dollars. So if you were to come back with checks during a U.S. bank, you could pay on that, and you could just pay what you have, and hopefully that would keep ahead of whatever whatever was scheduled as a payment. So I did. I started taking what we call Save the Kingsbury family trips, and I made two or three of those in the course of a year or so, and raised the money for. I come back with these checks, turn them over, and they would negotiate them, and boom, that's how we paid off the first year. So we sat down with her, for going for the second year, and I can't remember now if we asked for the meeting or they told us. In any event, she said, Jim County pastors, I know of a certain family that applied for an 80% scholarship, and it was accepted. And I just got to tell you, so we're so delighted with your two daughters. They just are such an asset in the school, and they're well liked, and they're doing really extremely well. And we would like to keep them. But I'm just saying, I know this couple that wrote a letter and asked for 80%. So we did, and they gave it to us. So the second year that Karen and Catherine were there in the school, we paid 20% of the whole tuition for each of them, and it was incredible thing that God had done in providing that. Now, Kristen went to school down in Guilford. I'll talk about that in a later um, video because that's where we actually wound up moving to, was in the Guilford, Surrey. So that was amazing. It was a near miss that led to a remarkable scholarship that allowed the girls to go to a first class international American school, and we were grateful and still are grateful for the opportunity he provided for them.